felt like Guillermo, dude, from Jimmy Kimmel. LeBron. Hey, LeBron, what happened, LeBron? Oh, he was extra sad. You see how sad he was?
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com. That's PJ4F.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Call in and give us your takes anytime at 408-909-PJFF. Phone lines are open, always. Brought to you every week by Creative Media Design Services. Check them out at creativemediamonterey.com. Hey, yo, it's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. Yo, Che, talk to me, boy.
What's good, Kenny, man? It's good to be back here in the studio.
Always a good time up here in the crow's nest.
Yeah, always, man.
It's good to see your face again. Just another day in paradise, you know?
Another day. I don't know if it's been paradise with this weather, but it's always a good day when you're doing well and when you're healthy, right?
You're talking Raiders for sure.
Always.
So we're gonna get into it. This segment's called "It Must Be the Off Season" because we're reaching for stories at this point. But we got some stuff to talk about. Recently, John Madden stopped by the facility. You had pointed out you had seen a picture of him, and he's looking a little worse for wear.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like you said, he's been out of the spotlight for so long. We're so used to seeing him chunky and healthy, laughing and making all his commentary and drawing up X's and O's and all that good stuff. And then, boom, to back to acting, right? But yeah, I saw that video and I was like, oh man, John got old. John, he's withering away, but I'm glad to see that happens to all of us, right?
I'm glad to see he did drop some weight. I have to assume that's for the good.
It's a positive. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he definitely looks different. Not what we're used to.
Because after Al Davis, he's kind of like the next pillar, I feel like, in the Raider Nation. So hopefully we got some time left with you, John. Like to see more John. I'd like to hear more John.
Love you, John.
Can't get enough John. I think in order to be a good announcer, you have to be on the microphone.
You have to be a Raider. And
that one's for you, John. That was my Captain Obvious John Maddenism of the day. So I'm not even going to go. I have a terrible Madden impersonation.
I know, I'm not good at that.
My Gruden's pretty good. So maybe around training camp, we'll get to a little John Gruden quarterback camp.
There you go.
But or who knows? Maybe he'll call into the show one of these days.
Maybe we'll get Bizarro
John Gruden. Yeah,
I was listening to Rappaport the other day.
Yeah,
he had Bizarro. Who do you have? Bizarro
Van Gundy,
or he has Bizarro somebody. Yeah. Bizarro.
He had Bizarro Steph Curry on a while ago. He had Bizarro Jack Del Rio on last season. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Michael Rappaport, one of my favorite actors. He's been in a lot of movies. You probably know him as the delivery guy in Next Friday. He was in Higher Learning or Dangerous Minds?
Higher Learning. He was the skinhead.
Higher Learning. Yeah. He's been in a lot of films. Funny dude. You see him on ESPN now. He's been kind of talking about Big Three, the Ice Cube 3-on-3 basketball league, which you check it out because that's going to be hot. But anyways, he's got a segment on his show. Well, he's got a show. That's what I'm saying all this to say this. If you're listening to this podcast and you like podcasts and you're not listening to the I Am Rappaport stereo podcast, check it out because it's Ball of Monkeys. It's fun.
He's hilarious.
Barrel of Monkeys. It's fun.
He's hilarious. Dude.
It's wild.
That dude's crazy.
And his co-host is pretty cool too. And if you're a hip hop fan, that's a must listen. And if you're a hip hop fan and you haven't seen it, check out the Tribe Called Quest documentary directed by Michael Rappaport, which was really eye opening. It's been out for years now, but if you haven't checked it out, definitely that's a must watch.
Really good.
But let's get back to it. So Madden stopped by the facility. He wanted to talk about how the Raiders can best use Marshawn Lynch. He identified the NFL has gone to a pass heavy league, which we all know. But he also pointed out that teams now are going more and more to the pass to pick up short yardage situations. And we saw that exemplified no better than in the Super Bowl, Seahawks versus the Patriots, when on the goal line, They elected to pass the ball, and that lost them the Super Bowl. A lot of that, and I won't get into it, but I think a lot of that is the reason why Marshawn Lynch is in Oakland today.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least the opportunity for him to be in Oakland today.
Definitely.
I think the next year's injury and his decision to retire, I think a lot of that factored in. Because if you saw his face on the sideline and after the game, kind of tell you everything you need to know.
Everybody, though.
So, long story short, Madden feels like Lynch can be a great short yardage back. And, can't disagree with that, right?
I think we already made that conclusion ourselves.
we did.
We did.
We said he could be the next kind of Zach Crockett. Super Zach Crockett.
With that cue.
Yeah, Che doing the touchdown celebration over here, the Moose series. The Antlers, I should say. But yeah, I think that's great. But then kind of piggybacking on the video that broke this week by Jack Del Rio, tweeted out the video, which was kind of cool, of Lynch busting some cuts in practice. Now, everybody looks good in basketball shorts. In fact,
he has sweats on, by the way. He has sweats on.
Okay, so he's wearing sweats. Me and Che are wearing basketball shorts, and let me tell you, we look good.
Always.
We look damn good.
Really good.
Hey, everybody, come over here and see how good we look.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
So, and if you watch closely in that video, linebacker does get close to Marshawn, and he kind of pulls up. It was a non-contact drill. But the cuts he offered up Reggie Nelson at the end of that video give a lot of hope.
Give him that spin cycle. Reggie, where you at, man?
Put him in the washer, man. So, Madden, shout out to Madden. Yes, you're right. But once again, Madden, the reason why we love you is you pointing out the obvious to us all the time. Again, we're scraping the bottom of the pot right now for some stories, but I thought that was cool. Be able to mention Madden, I think that's cool. So
everybody loves Madden. Come on now, man.
Yeah, all this really to say we love you, John.
We love you, John.
Love that. So speaking of Reggie Nelson, let's talk a little bit about the secondary. And to talk about the secondary, we first got to talk about the linebackers, notably Markel Lee, who's our third-round draft pick this year. Nope. Third round was Bulldozer, right? Fifth round.
Fifth?
I don't know.
Am I wrong?
They'll light us up on the blog. PJ4F.com to tell us how wrong we are.
Let us know.
At times. We do our notes and our research, but then we sit down and get talking about stuff. And, we're,
it's good times out here, man.
Che's about halfway through a pint or a liter of IPA. What are you drinking there? Vanderdozer? What is that?
Vanderdozer. Is that a new one, man? Is that coming out?
I think that's a
Stone. I might have to get on that.
Yeah, it's a Stone.
I got
brewery.
that Denogonizer, man. If you guys don't know about Drake's, go out there.
Get Denogonizer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we need to sign him with special teams. So we don't have a pass rush, but Che's holding it in his hand over here. He's going to denogonize you. All right, so what happened was Markel Lee tweeted out a screenshot, or I don't know if it was on Twitter or Instagram, but he sent out a screenshot of defensive formation from practice. He was studying his film, and it showed him lined up as the weak side linebacker, and it showed Obi, your new safety, lined up at strong side linebacker. So we talked about this already. Mm-hmm. We said he can move down into that position, and it looks like he's going to be. It looks like Oakland's going to waste no time moving this kid around, which is tough for a vet already, but as a rookie, it's going to be a real strong task for him. Or they could just be experimenting in OTAs right now. But you got to think, and you're shaking your head, you got to think this is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Look, I'm excited.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him out there. I mean, you touched on it. You said you felt like he could come down and be that linebacker. And we're already talking about him covering tight ends and all that stuff. So it fits into what we've been talking about.
Right. Strong side, obviously the tight end side. It all makes sense. I watched some video that Ted Nguyen, and if you guys don't follow Ted Nguyen on Twitter or Gypsy Safety, they're partners in crime. Check them out. Great follow, great video breakdowns. Even during the offseason, they don't quit. But he was showing Obi kind of getting abused at linebacker while in college. Has a hard time shedding blocks, taking on blocks. Despite his size, he's not as physical as maybe he could be. I'm just comparing his size to KJ, I guess, but he's not like a monster size safety, but bigger dude, definitely one of the bigger safeties on this team now. But he's got a lot to learn as far as shedding blockers. Now he's on that side, so he's probably going to be picking up double teams, I would say, more defensive tackles offensive tackles or whatnot. They're going to have to put 2 defensive tackles in front of him, I should say, to absorb those blocks, if that's going to be the case. But yeah, so it was kind of exciting to see that. But Markel Lee, boy, you should know better.
Come on now. Come on, man.
This is a team shrouded in secrecy. Jack Del Rio can tweet out all the videos he wants. Markel Lee, you should lose a couple reps for that one. But we had mentioned Reggie Nelson, and we'd already kind of talked about OU potentially being his replacement at some point this season. So Reggie himself addressed the Raiders going heavy on secondary in the draft.
Yep.
And you kind of like paraphrase what he had to say about that.
Paraphrase, don't quote me. Don't quote me, right? Because I'm all over the place. But basically he was saying, there's a lot of competition. And basically he's aware that this is a young man's game, right? It's a young man's game. And for somebody like himself, who's a veteran, he's got to do his homework. So they were asking him about, if he studies a lot of film, and he said, I'm always studying film, which is what we like to hear.
We like that. We like that.
I want you studying film all the time, Reggie. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Make me eat my words and show me that you're the safety that the Raiders are supposed to have. If that happens, I got no quarrels with you, dude. It's all good, right? Because as long as we're winning, that's all that matters to me.
The plot twist is that he was actually studying the new Alien film. Because he was trying to figure out how it fits in with the storyline, because it is rather confusing. So we like it, but, Rotten Tomatoes versus defensive schemes is a different story.
It's true.
And you were saying he kind of admitted to trying to get on the same page with Smith and the coaching staff last year.
I think what he was talking about, and I think it has a lot to do with what we were talking about the other week, is them being on the same page. Because it was the first year they were all playing together. So they weren't on the same page. He admitted that in not so many words by saying, I think we'll be better this year because we have a year under our belt. And it's kind of hard to understand the way they're going to play routes, where they need the help, how they want me to come over and help, that kind of stuff. So he was talking specifically about Smith and DA and knowing that they're different in the way they play certain routes and having that understanding when he goes out on the field. And I don't think he had that. So yeah, that could have played a lot into what we saw, right? The like we talked about, Smith looking over his shoulder saying, hey, where are you, dude?
So once again, our speculation was right because
on the dot,
we're that good. So if we got anything wrong in that segment, don't worry about it because most of the time we're right. It's
all the time.
We might be wrong about the past, but the future.
Even when I'm wrong, I'm right.
There you go. Is that what your lady tells you?
No. That's not what my lady tells me.
You're doing it right. So to borrow from Rappaport once again, we don't fact check. Ain't no fact checking.
It's the jam right there. Come on,
so some folks listening to this, that's going to be way over their head. But for those of you that get it, I see you. So really quick, just kind of a quick mention, injury report. John Feliciano injured his right knee this week in practice. I believe that was on Tuesday. Incidental contact with a teammate. John's not an impact player, but he is really important depth for us. He's only started three games in 2 seasons. He's taken a total of 38 snaps on offense, 136 though on special teams. So that's significant because he's a big dude. I like to call him Fat Klay Thompson. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google John Feliciano, Klay Thompson. Put that in, and you're going to get some side-by-side photos, and you're going to be like, wow. Yeah.
Oh, Kitty was right.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to say to yourself.
Once again. Once again.
Once again. Damn, he was right again.
So we got a little bit of time before we hit the break.
Okay.
So let's talk about this next story. It's a non-Raider story, but must be the off season. when players are taking $632 Uber rides to get to OTAs. So this week, a story came out that Buffalo Bills, I think he's rookie, right? Draft pick Sharice Wright took a $632 Uber ride. Ooh. He had boarded his plane, but his connecting flight was late. I should say, yeah, his connecting flight was late. So his arrival flight was late, so he missed his connecting flight, is what I'm trying to say. So he's about an 8 to 9 hour drive away. His friend who was there at the time, I think he was in Chicago, could not give him a ride. His friend was not available. He did not rent a car because he planned on getting some sleep in before OTAs. Because smart move, responsible move. So he called up an Uber driver. Got him on the phone, kind of explained the situation. Driver was like, yep, let's do it. No problem. So he's like, dude, I need to get there by 7 a.m. He's like, yeah, I got you. So they drove 9 hours. His name, what's his name? Hadi Abdullahian, right? If I'm saying that right. Hadi for sure, Hadi. Dude drove 9 hours, stopped once for gas. Hadi, you the real MVP.
You the real MVP, man.
You the real MVP.
So $632 Uber ride. What do you leave as a tip, Che?
Man. Hey, you got to figure this dude's a rookie. Mm-hmm. Was he a first rounder?
I don't know about that. Okay, no, I'm not fact checking that.
Yeah, I mean he can at least drop the 15% on that, right?
Yeah. So what? So
at least the 15% on that.
So
10% just saved your job, bro.
10% of 632 would be 60, and add another 5% to that. They're looking at about $90, $100 tip.
That's pretty decent. That's pretty. I mean, I think that's kind of actually maybe a little cheap.
Your boy dropped a $300 tip.
Your boy your boy that drove him there has to drive back to where he came from, man.
True
so
that.
you gotta cover that gas. Come on now.
True that. So he laced him with $300 on the way out.
I would have done it for that.
Cash money.
Hey.
Gave him a 5-star rating on Uber.
Okay.
As he should. So similar experience. Devon House from Green Bay. He missed his flight completely, and he lives in Minnesota. So definitely not a lot of Green Bay love in Minnesota, but he kind of took a different approach. He went to Twitter.
He went to Twitter, man. He tweeted.
And what did he do?
Like our president, dude. Come on now. How silly is that?
Hey, I'll give Trump a ride. Yeah, jump in my car. Jump in my car. I'm pull up in a white van.
I was almost about to say something, but I don't want no Secret Service pulling up at your pad right now because of something that I said. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm not even gonna touch that.
I'm just playing. No
Trump rides. I'll just tell you that I'm not giving Trump no ride. I don't know what I'll do. But anyways, he tweeted out to the fans and he said, "Yo, I need a ride. Can you get me to practice?" Some dudes rolled up. They're like, "We got you, Devon." They took him on a ride all the way to practice. He showed up on time to OTAs, and they got in the building. He showed them around. He showed them the facilities. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I'll tell you right now, if one of our guys need a ride, and I'm not even on Twitter, hit us up on the podcast, man. If you need a ride, I'll come out there. You show me some facilities. Let me hang out with Khalil and Derek a little bit, and that's cool.
Hey, you need a ride? 408-909 PJFF.
There you go.
We're there. I ain't even going to charge you nothing. I was just about to ask you, how's this story change if Raider fans get involved?
There's going to be a party, dude. There's going to be a tailgate for sure, right?
Hey, you might not get there.
They might not get there. They'll be like, yo, what can we do? These guys are ready to party. They had a grill with them, some carne asada. They were throwing down some modelos, some red beers.
I'll tell Conley right now. I'll say, hey, bro, look at the roster. Roster's stacked. All right, you need to lay low right now. Okay, so I don't want you anywhere where there's any cameras. You just lay low. We got you back. Just chill. Off season, chill. We're gonna barbecue. We're gonna do it up. We're gonna have you there by August. Just don't sweat it.
Real healthy.
Real healthy. We're gonna kick it large. You're gonna meet the fam. There's gonna be cookouts. It's gonna be a good summer, and I think Conley might be down for that. You know, I'm just saying, boy needs to lay low. You know, I mean, may not introduce him to some female friends, but
Obi-Wan Kenobi too, man.
Hey,
We know you're from out there. You're in Connecticut and all that good stuff.
Markel Lee already blowing up your spot. Bro, you got to lay low too. Okay, jump in the truck. Okay, just lay low. We got this.
I got a pop-up tent. Got a grill. We got some tables, some fold-out chairs, bro. We have a good time. I'm just letting you know.
Got some styrofoam cups. We're gonna do the damn thing
all day.
So speaking of having to jump in the ride and we're gonna get on to this break. We're gonna come back on the other side. We're gonna take you down. We're gonna take you a trip down memory lane. You're gonna hop in the Uber Wayback Machine, and we're gonna take you down memory lane. We're gonna talk a little Raider history. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, man.
All right, we out here.
It's got nostalgic right now.
Yeah, I see you tearing up a little bit. It's all good. Hang in there, brother. All right, we'll see you guys on the other side. We out here. Peace.
Peace.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans, featuring fan-submitted articles and the most lively Raider Nation conversation on the internet. Follow us on Twitter @PillageJustForFun. That's @PillageJust4Fun. Also, tune in every Tuesday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio.
What up, fellas? It's your boy Plunk. So, my first time seeing the Raiders, I think would have been in 1970. I was in the 10th grade, and I wanted to play football, and I didn't really know that much about football. I'd been to some college games. My dad had taken me to the Rose Bowl, actually, when I was younger, but not sure what it was about the Raiders, but LaMonica, I believe, was still quarterback at that time. But anyway, that was when I started watching football because I wanted to learn more about it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It was 1976, and Pittsburgh had beaten us 2 years before in the AFC Championship games back-to-back, and that's all anybody was talking about. And I was 10 years old. And I remember watching her around this little, like 18-inch color TV. Couldn't have been that big, and everybody kind of huddled around it. And Clarence Davis scoring like a 1-yard touchdown was like a big deal because that kind of gave us the momentum. Franco Harris was out, Rocky Bly was out, so they were saying, Pittsburgh wasn't at full strength, but nah. We scored on their defense. We took it to them that day. That was our year. And that's my first memory of the Raiders is 10-year-old watching them beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship game. I think Snake only had like less than 100 yards passing, but he threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, hello Kenny, this is guest 123. Just wanted to chime in, let you know I saw your message about some interesting or first impressions of watching your first Raider game, and all I can tell you is seen a lot over the years. Just wanted to let you all know that it's been an honor, and it's been great to be able to watch them over the years, and just wanted to shout out to everybody. Maybe I'll go into a memory in the future. For now, I just wanted to say hi and good luck, and look forward to seeing you on the block. All right, bye.
Good evening, Raider brothers. I would have to say I started seriously watching the Raiders in 1971. Yeah, I was a young kid, but I loved playing all sports, and my dad was into watching all the local East Bay teams. I remember watching George Blanda throw passes and kick field goals, but I would have to say the worst memory, and one that I can definitely say still hurts, is the Immaculate Reception game. After we beat Miami in the Sea of Hands game, which we all loved, and most of us kids redid that play outside for months, even after the Steelers took that victory from us. I would have to say that's probably my most lasting impression as a young Raider fan. Thank goodness we've had many great seasons since then, and we're on the verge of greatness once again. Hope everyone's doing well.
And we're back. Che got the DeLorean up to 88 miles per hour.
We're going back in time.
And one thing, though, is you park too damn close to the mailbox. I can't open my door. Damn butterfly doors on this aluminum can. You're stressing out the flex capacitor.
You got to get that garbage in there, bro. You got some banana peels, a coffee can. What else you want? You just throw it all in there, man.
I see a lot of people on PJ4F.com right now talking about the ingress and egress for the Vegas Stadium not getting built in time. I just got to tell you something. Where we're going, we don't need roads. Sorry. Too soon? No.
Come on, man. It's never too soon for that.
So let's get into memory lane. I put it out to you guys on PJ4F.com to call in, leave us your first or earliest Raider memory, watching a game, going to a game, whatever it was. We got one call right now. I'm waiting on a few more callers. If you're listening to this, it's too late. The show already happened. But shout out to Plunk for Hall of Fame for getting the early call in. Definitely one of my favorite callers. Look forward to hearing from him every week. Hopefully we get a couple more in. By the time you hear my voice, you'll know whether we did or not. So I should probably just shut up and get on with the stories. So we both have a couple stories to share. I know I have a TV story and I have a stadium story. But I'm going to defer to Che. I want you to set it off and tell me a little bit about your first Raider memory. May not be the first game you saw, but the one that sticks in your head being the earliest one. Tell me a little bit about it. I'll try not to cry. I got the tissue box right here on the table. We're good. The tears are going to be silver.
Yo, the first memory, and we talked about this before. I was telling you, man, when you sent that to me, I was like, that's a great idea. But I honestly feel like I saw some games before this memory, but this one's just embedded in my mind, singed in my memory forever. And I think is it almost as bad as the Tuck Rule game?
I mean, I think it is. It's just as bad, if not maybe worse.
Because it kind of sent our franchise into a spiral.
Yeah, it kept us out of Super Bowl in the 90s.
Yep. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Too many of the decades ended right there.
Yep. So. It was the 90-91 playoff game against the Cincinnati Bengals when the greatest athlete on planet Earth, your boy, Bo Jackson, got injured. Come on now. That singed in my brain. And that 90-91, man, I was 8 years old. So, and I had seen games before that, and I knew about Todd Christensen. I knew about High Long and the Kentucky Waterfalls. My uncle was rocking it.
I met your uncle too, man. That's a vision in my mind.
Shout out to my uncle.
That's singed in my brain now.
My cousins were rocking the Howie, dude. Come on, man. Everybody was rocking that. But that game is singed in my brain as the first game that I saw. And I know it's not the first game, but it's the first memory, the first real memory. Because even at that age, I knew just how much that affected us. Like, you saw Bo go down, and he got up, and you're like, okay. And then he went back down. And you're like, oh, this isn't good. And then they came, they helped him off. And I don't remember what the announcers were saying, but they were like, well, that's not good. And then all of a sudden, Bo's on the sidelines. He's with his kids. And he's laughing, he's smiling. And you kind of thought, all right, maybe this is going to be all right. Maybe it's just, a sprain. Maybe he'll make it.
Yeah.
But we all know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of the demise of our team, man. Come on now, like let's be real. Without Bo, we were a completely different team, and all we needed to see was that following game in the conference championship against the Bills to see how bad things actually were. I think having a tremendous athlete like Bo Jackson on your team, we had a lot of talent. You know, we had a young Tim Brown. Mervin Fernandez was our
Marvin.
Yeah, dude. He was our leading receiver and all-time receiver at that time, right? We had Greg Townsend. He was causing havoc off the end. We had a lot of good players. We had a Howie Long. Yeah, he wasn't as elite as he used to be, but he was still, he was still doing his thing. But after that, it was kind of all downhill, man. It was all downhill, and we know what happened with Marcus, and we could argue back and forth. Al Davis kind of did that wrong, and but Bo Jackson was it. When Bo Jackson went, so did kind of the Raiders winning.
You mean Jay Schrader was not going to carry this team into the promised land?
That's all I got to say about that, man.
So
Jay Schrader, come on, man.
Prior to going down in that game, Bo had run for 77 yards on 6 carries.
77 yards. Man, we blew out we were handing it to the Bengals. The Bengals were not hanging with us. And for all intents and purposes, like you could have said, like, you don't even need Bo running at that point. But Bo had 77. I think Marcus was over 100. Not exact on how many yards, but we were blowing them out. We were in command of that game.
We won 20-10.
Yeah, and we're maybe not blowing them out points wise, but definitely
controlling the field.
Yeah, definitely in control of the game, and he goes down, man, and you're just like, and you see all the commercials. Everybody was on the Bo Knows thing, man. Come on now. My cousins had the posters. I remember I used to go over to my uncle's house. My cousins had all the cool stuff, right? So I always had to go over to my cousin's house to see all the cool stuff. Yeah. They had that Sega Master System with Shinobi.
The Bo poster I remember, the one where you had the bat over the shoulder pads.
Yep.
The black and white.
That's the one my cousin had.
And then the one where he's in the locker room is half Royals, half Raiders, black and blue.
Yep. I think he had that one too. Yeah. I think he had them all. Come on now.
Yeah.
Those were the days, bro. Come on now. That day's forever singed in our memories because Bo never came back. He never came back. And we knew that was the last time we had seen literally the greatest athlete of his time. And we're talking about a time that had Michael Jordan. Yo, Nike was making Bo Jackson the face of their company over Michael Jordan. You remember those days? He was becoming the face of their company over Michael Jordan. So that just goes to show you how amazing an athlete he was. So that day is forever singed in my memory. And like I said, I can remember it. I'm 8 years old at that time. I think I was sitting there watching that game by myself.
Wow.
Saying, like, watching my Raiders.
Yeah.
I was down.
You were
down for the cause.
You were by yourself?
Down by law.
And you didn't do anything? Oh, you haven't seen Get Out yet.
I ain't Macaulay Culkin, man.
You didn't see Get Out yet, did you?
This is a Home Alone moment right here.
I might have to report this. I am a mandated reporter after all. You haven't seen Get Out, though, huh?
I haven't seen it.
All right, so that joke was lost on you. I'm not going to spoil anything. So we'll come back to you. That was like your TV story. I wanted you to go first because I'm going to pick back up with something a little more happy.
Okay.
But that was real.
That's real.
That was real. And I could see why that would be stuck in your head. I mean, that was a pivotal moment.
That was huge, man.
And for you to go on and stick with the Raiders is just a testament to the passion and loyalty of Raider Nation. And I know your family wouldn't have had it any other way. In fact, if you had gone away, I may never have met you.
You would have never met me, man. I don't know where I would have been right now.
Probably in some correctional facility somewhere. Probably some foster home or something. So my first memory, I was a kid. I think I was about 8 years old too. I want to say it was 1986, 80 something. Anyway, my dad had a VHS player, and that was a big deal back then. And we had the one with the wood paneling on the side of it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a nice one, man.
It was a caddy. Yeah. I think he said he paid $400 to $600 for that machine. So but he'd tape everything. God bless him. And he still has these tapes and there's some over there on that CD rack.
Watching these, man. We're gonna end up watching these in a little bit.
Yeah, I keep those. So he sat me down and he showed me a tape of Super Bowl 15 when the Raiders versus the Eagles, and we waxed that ass. I still remember Jim Plunkett launching one over Herm Edwards' head. As Herm doubled back, thinking about the pass rush, and the look on his face through that face mask was like, oh, shit. Herm, every time I see you on my TV, I just think about that. And Herm's actually a local guy. Herm lives down in Monterey.
And you know what? Props to Herm because he don't ever diss the Raiders. He's not a Raider hater.
He's not.
He's not a Raider hater. He has reasons to be.
He coached the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. He has all the reasons to be a Raider hater. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not. So props to him.
So Jim threw one of his magnificent ducks right over his head because, let's face it, Plunkett wasn't the tightest spiral thrower on the planet, but definitely a gamer, definitely a get the job done type dude. I'd put him in that Gannon camp. Not as cerebral, but you know what I mean. We talked about it the last time. Just a scrappy dude, just by any means necessary kind of win dude.
But we're also talking about an era when dudes were getting blitzed before games, bro. Come on, they might have been tripping on something out there on the field. They might have seen like 3 players and just try to hit the middle, man. They're just trying to hit the middle.
So that was my first Raider memory, sitting down watching the game, watching them win, and asking my dad, they just won the Super Bowl, and he's explaining to me it was an older Super Bowl, and I just remember how dominant they were. And then growing up later and reading the stories about that Super Bowl, which was in New Orleans, and I believe it was Dick Vermeil. Am I saying that right? Dick Vermeil.
Isn't he known for being the crybaby?
He's a crybaby. He's very strict. So I remember going into that game, reading about that game, that he had his players on a very tight curfew, and everything was regimented. They had an itinerary. Everything was very punctual.
How did that work out for you?
And the Raider players just had free reign on the town. They stayed out late. They partied on Bourbon Street. They got down with the fans. They came in and they handled business the next day.
Oh yeah.
And just like you were saying, this is a team who, when Kenny Stabler was my namesake, Kenny Stabler was quarterback, he would come in. I remember reading a story. It came into the hotel lobby and they were like, "Hey, you just getting back from breakfast?" He's like, "No, I'm just getting back from last night." And I read his book, and the line would literally stand up out of the way so he can take an early sack and kind of snap out of his hangover. So that's the Raiders team we're talking about. That's besides the point. That was my first memory, just really watching this team whoop up on them, seeing all the characters that were on that team at the time, and just kind of the way they celebrated and the way that they played and how kind of gritty they were. And I liked the way the uniforms looked. I just liked everything about it. And I sat and I'd watch football with my dad every Sunday after that. And I was still young, so I would maybe be on the ground playing with my Transformers or whatnot, but definitely an eyeball on the set. Started wearing the Raiders starters jackets. I was born into Raiders Nation at that point.
Starter era was amazing, man.
Actually, I'm lying. My family could not afford a starter jacket. I had the Premier Chalk line.
Yo, I had Pro Line, man. I had the Pro Line. No, wait. The Logo Athletics, bro.
Logo Athletics. Wow. So, yeah,
I couldn't afford that starter. Hey, I'm with you.
Much like our logo on the website, the patch was on the wrong eye. No, I'm playing. I had the chalk line jacket, which looked a lot like the starter jacket, but it wasn't. It was very thin. It was very cold. I was very proud, young boy. I did not act cold. I was tough.
The big question, though, was it reversible?
It was not reversible.
Because, back in the days, it was all about that reversible jacket.
Back in the days, anything could be reversible.
My cousin had that reversible starter jacket, and I envied him forever, dude. And not until, I want to say, maybe a year ago, I saw my uncle rocking that jacket. I was like, that jacket is still sick. Silver on one side, black on the other. Oh man,
I'll buy
that's
that
a jacket.
Well, when you say reversible, now I'm clear. But back in my day, it was inside out, or did you mean just wearing it
Like
backwards?
Legitimately,
Because
reversible.
crisscross came along and messed up a lot of people.
They messed up a lot of people. Yeah,
I did not go there. I did not wear the jacket with the 8-ball on the elbows. I didn't wear that one. I didn't wear cross colors. I did have a Malcolm X t-shirt. You could say I maybe was a little bit confused back then, but I had read the autobiography as told to Alex Haley, and it was brilliant, changed my life. So I'll rock that proudly, and I still would, because I think
I got that autobiography in my library, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Great book, and always that t-shirt was a tremendous icebreaker, conversation starter for me when I was 14 years old.
With you though. Maybe you didn't rock it. I didn't rock it either. I didn't rock the cross colors. I didn't rock the reversibles. But you wanted to.
I wanted.
It was in, man.
I wanted to wear the leather Africa medallion.
That was dope.
And I'm just being transparent.
That was dope.
Because I was a huge Public Enemy fan.
Oh yeah.
And man, I was, back then I got a lot of flack for being a white boy into hip hop as strong as I was. But who's laughing now?
Exactly.
Because on my last album, I got a check from Spotify for $4.72. So, who's laughing now?
That's right.
That's right, Ricky Tanaka. Bullying me all through PE. Because I had Kwame tapes and Tribe Called Quest tapes, and you thought that was soft. What you didn't know, Ricky, is that I also had NWA tapes.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
I was not into 2 Live Crew. I just didn't like it.
No Luke for you.
Didn't like it. Like Sir Mix Slot. Thought the bass originated in Seattle. That's a different podcast. But man, you guys made me learning a little too much about me.
A little too much.
But yeah, I got love for hip hop. So if you didn't know that. Anyway, so let's cut back to you. Your first Raider game memory. Oakland or LA? Because I know you got roots in both places.
Oakland. My first Raider game was in Oakland. They had already come back. Man, like I said, my first memory was at 8. My first actual game being there in person didn't come till my senior year in high school, man.
Okay.
Senior year in high school. So you're talking about 10 years, give or take, right?
Yeah.
A few months. Yeah, my first game was against the Seattle Seahawks. That's when they were still in the AFC. You remember that?
I remember that. It was a good rivalry.
They were in the AFC, bro. Come on, man. I think that might have been one of the final years, if it wasn't the final year.
I remember
they were in the AFC West.
I remember Tom Flores. He coached them. Did he not? Or he played for them? I'm all switched up.
Tom Flores played. Well, I don't know. I'm not.
Scratch that.
I'm not even gonna touch that because I don't even know nothing about that.
Okay. So, set the stage. Oakland Coliseum. It was your senior year in high school. We're playing the Seahawks.
So my uncle, who's also my Nino, my godfather. For those of you that don't know what Nino means, my Uncle Beto. Shout out to him. He's the man. But he did me a humongous favor, and he gifted me a ticket, and he took me to the game, I believe for my birthday, and or a Christmas gift. I think it might have been a Christmas gift because birthday is in the summer. That don't work. So it must have been a Christmas gift. And so he was like, "Hey, mijo, let's go to you want to go to the Raider game?" And I was like, "Hell yeah. Come on now. Of course I'm going to go to the Raider game. You tell me when." I don't even think I slept that night, man. I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to the Raider game.
You still don't sleep before Raider games.
Hell no, I don't sleep before Raider games. You know how excited I get, man. I'm like, we're going to a Raider game? I'm still just excited. Just as excited as then. So, man, I was all ready. I'm coming from a lower class to middle class family, so I didn't have all the jerseys and all that kind of stuff. I was just trying to fit in. I was like, this is my team. So I had a hat It wasn't even a pro hat. It was a, snapback hat. It was the one hat that I wore like every day that I could wear a hat. And then I think I wore my high school jersey. Sick. And my high school jersey, I was, I'd never been to the game, so I was like, maybe we'll get there early. Maybe they'll sign my high school jersey, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I actually took my jersey, but my high school colors were red, white, and a little bit of black. So I knew that was going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the white.
You're smart. You're a smart kid.
I took the white jersey. I was like, maybe I can get away with this.
Mm-hmm. With the red numbers?
With the red numbers.
Okay, you weren't that smart.
I wasn't that smart. But I didn't care because it was my jersey. Okay, I was rocking my jersey. So no one could tell me nothing. So I took my jersey because I was like, yeah, I play football. This is my thing. So I'm going to take my jersey. I'm going to rock it at a football game watching my team. I had my hat, so I thought I was good. I was covered, right? Anyways, get there. My uncle, he didn't want to. I think that the stadium was packed that day. It was sold out. So there was no parking in the lot. So we rolled through the first parking lot on Hagenberger, which everybody knows. Come on, everybody knows that. If you've been to Oakland and you've been to the Raider game in Oakland, then you know what I'm talking about. So we roll down Hagenberger, no parking. So they brush us on. So we go up to the bridge, we make the right, we try to go on the backside. That lot's it's filled up. It was a big game. So we move on. My uncle's driving and he sees these dudes driving into a parking lot. A little fenced off parking lot to a business, and he rolls up right behind him. He's like, I'm getting in too. And dude got in, and then they turn around. The guy shuts the fence on him. He's like, no, man, you can't come in here. Some uncle's like, all right. So he starts to back up. Dude kind of looks in the car. He sees we're all strapped up Raider gear, ready to go. And he's like, nah, come on. You guys are good. Lets us in. Thank you, that guy. I don't even know what your name is. I don't know who you are, but you were amazing because you gave us close parking to my first Raider game. Thank you for that. So we rolled up. Dudes were tailgating. We hung out with them for a little bit. Then my uncle's like, all right, let's go. Let's go to the game. We went to meet up with one of my cousin's friends who had the tickets. He was getting off the BART. Everybody that's ever been to a Raider game knows about the BART.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So our buddy was getting off the BART. Teddy. Shout out to Teddy. He probably don't listen to this, but maybe I'll send a link out to him. He has the tickets. And you know what? Actually, I knew him as a Bears fan, and he had converted. He had converted to a Raiders fan. But anyways, we get in the stadium. We go in through Mount Davis's side, which if anybody that's ever been in there, it's really nice. They got a lounge, they got a bar, and all that kind of good stuff. I was like, wow, this
East Side Club over there.
This is very luxurious, right? I've never been in that way.
Yeah.
I've never been to the stadium ever.
Yeah.
We walk in there, and he has seats right underneath the box seats on that side at the 50-yard line. It was about the 50-yard line. Perfect, man. Dude, amazing, right? And let me go back a little bit. And I was telling you about this. The moment that I realized that I was the right kind of fan is when we rolled through the parking lot. Okay, we're rolling through the parking lot.
First time.
Rolling through the parking lot. I'm walking side by side with my uncle and my cousin.
Looking cool.
Trying to look cool, right? I'm like, don't look like a rookie. I'm walking in. I'm like, yeah, Raiders, go Raiders. And then I look, and there's a group. Of grown-ass men, okay? About 25, 30 deep. They're all in a circle. And I'm like, what are these dudes doing? And they're like jumping around. They're like hooting, hollering. And I'm looking at them. We're walking closer to them. I look over at their truck, and they got a truck with the bed down. Black truck, Raider stuff all over it. Tailgate down. And the back of the truck, no joke, has about 20 bottles. Liquor. Probably mostly tequila. And I'm like, whoa. These guys are doing it for real out here. And then in the center of these guys is this guy, bald-headed, mustache-wearing. I'm not even gonna be. This isn't racist or anything. This dude was Mexican. I know my kind. I know my kind.
He was Vato Loco.
He was Vato Loco. This dude was a cholo. Y'all know if you guys are from Northern Cali, you know what I'm talking about. If you're from Cali, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This dude was a cholo. He's in the middle. Okay. He must have been about 5'7", 5'5" on a good day. Mm-hmm. And he's wilding, dude. Top of his lungs, just straining every vein in his forehead popping out, just shouting out, Raiders! Just going crazy, dude. And I'm like, this dude's for real. Bloodshot face, just insane, dude. And I was like, this is amazing. I knew it right then and there. I saw these guys. They're all hooting and hollering. I think they were singing him. They were actually singing him happy birthday.
Oh, wow.
And he was going crazy in the center. And I was like, this is the place to be.
Now,
this is where I'm supposed to be.
Chase said, I'm home.
I'm home.
And this is my family.
I'm home. This is my family.
I was up in the Bay last week, and I drove by the stadium, and that guy's still out there. Yeah.
You might confuse him for me, baby.
You got a nice head of hair.
I do. I'm not the bald version. I'm not the bald version.
So I'm looking back at the 99 season. I think that was probably right about when you went. And that game was in December, you said?
I believe so.
Yeah. December. What do we got here? I'm just trying to do some historical, bringing you back. December 5th, 1999, Seattle Seahawks. We won 30-21.
Yeah. And we sat there, man. I remember it because I don't know who was playing running back for them.
Shoot, in 99?
Who was playing running back for the Seahawks? He ran one up. He ran one up the sidelines, and it kind of broke our heart. We're like, God, no! Right in second half, and we stuck through it. Right, we're sitting there, we ain't going nowhere. There was a Seahawks fan sitting in front of us. He was here. He was actually there with a buddy of his who was a Raider fan, and of course he was like, leave me alone, dude. And the dude's cheering. He's like turning around, celebrating. Right, he's all happy. He thinks he's doing great. And then all of a sudden, our boys come back. And that dude got real sad, real salty, because everyone around him, including his buddy, was slapping hands, throwing high fives, shouting, hooting. Dude is pouring beer on him. I think the dude got up. There must have been like 5-6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Dude got up and disappeared into the lounge and never came back out. I think he sat at the bar for the rest of the game. He didn't want none no more.
Yeah, he did. Hell yeah, he did.
But it was amazing, man. It was the most amazing experience I'd ever had. And I was like, at that moment, I said, I got to do this a lot more often. As soon as I have a paying job and I can afford my own tickets, it's going to be a regular thing.
That's what we do now.
Hell yeah.
And just to kind of to backtrack, Flores was with the Seahawks. He after winning Super Bowl with us, he moved into the front office with us, and then after '87, he moved on to become the Seahawks general manager, and then became head coach in 1992.
Okay.
So I was not dreaming that.
You weren't.
But you saw a hell of a...
Don't wake me. I'm dreaming. Y'all,
every week.
Y'all don't know about Christopher Williams, man. Y'all don't know about that new Jack Swing. Go out there.
So you saw a pretty good team back then. That was the beginning of a new era for us.
Yeah.
Rich Gannon.
I think it was Napoleon Kaufman was on that squad.
Napoleon Kaufman, John Ritchie, Randy Jordan.
We were getting stuff together back then, man.
Tyrone Wheatley.
Oh, yeah.
Mo Collins on the line, Lincoln Kennedy, Barrett Robbins, Barry Sims, Stinchcomb, Adam True, Steve Wisniewski, Tony Bryant, James Harris, Grady Jackson, Lance Johnstone, Darrell Russell, James Harris. And I know you had that Bobby Hoeing jersey, right? I would have worn my high school jersey too, bro. I would have worn that too.
Yeah, no. Truth be told, my number has been and has always been since my freshman year, 89. And it just so happens that our newest and latest greatest receiver, is rocking that 89. So my hopes are with you, Amari.
You gotta like that.
You're rocking my number, man.
And I think you might have seen one of Eric Turner's last home games.
I believe so.
Yeah, rest in peace, Eric Turner.
Yeah.
That was the third to last home game in that season. So
Yeah.
just a little respect out there to Turner. Always be missed. My memory is a little bit not as vivid. The whole family went. I remember my dad being geeked up. Why was he so geeked up? Because the Oakland Raiders had returned to Oakland. It was 1995, September 3rd. We played the San Diego Chargers. And we were sitting about the 35-yard line towards the black hole side. So I guess that's the south end zone. We were on the visiting side of the field. It was a hot day. It was early in the season. It's hot in Oakland in September. It's hot in that visiting side in September. I remember it being really hot. I remember my mom was just kind of like, whatever. My brother, kind of the same thing.
Right.
But me and my dad were lockstep. We were the Raider fans.
There you go.
God bless my brother. He's just never been a big football fan. And my mom, God bless my mom. She was just supportive, whatever made the kids happy. So we were out there. We won that game. It was not the most exciting game. I had to look it up because I thought the score was like 10-7. It was actually 17-7. But 50,000 people there that day, which is a lot for the Coliseum at that time. That was pre-Mount Davis. So I think our max capacity was around 55. Yeah. First game back. So that was cool.
There's still grass out there, right?
Yeah.
Is there grass out there?
Yeah.
There was grass on that.
In fact, at that time in the MLB area, that was the last open outfield left because the Royals had a new stadium. I remember they had an open outfield and they had that big crown scoreboard and they moved on, I think around that time. So it was shortly after that the A's had the last open outfield. And just this kind of quick side note, because it's a dual purpose stadium, you could say that the Coliseum was a great pitcher's stadium because the foul ground there is like 3 acres. And I know for different reasons, AT&T Park's a great pitcher's park, but there's no foul territory there. So you ain't getting any help from flyouts. But yeah, we went to, my dad and I went to a lot of Raiders and A's games together back in the day. So yeah, it was cool. That was my first memory. I'm glad I was there when they came back, and we're going to be there the day they leave too. So that's going to be cool. They're not the only team leaving Oakland, and I'm sad about this. I'm cool with the Warriors moving on to San Francisco. I'm cool with that, but it's still sad,
It is sad, man. It's sad that two teams they're looking like they're at their best in a long time, right? Are leaving the city that backed them for so long when they weren't.
And we know Raiders have had their attendance struggles, and I could speak to that really quick. I will tell you, during the blackout era, I was going to a lot of games, and the blackouts were determined on Thursdays, day of game.
Sold out, bro.
You got to understand that this is a fan base that likes to walk up to the window and buy tickets cash.
Oh yeah,
because you don't know until Sunday sometimes if you can make it or not.
Because you don't know what money you could scrounge up.
Exactly.
Till then.
So I was out there, but these two fan bases have backed their teams through thick and thin, and everyone will tell you, even non-Warriors fans will tell you that Oracle Arena has always been loud. It's always been packed. Man, the last time I went to Oracle to see the Warriors play was they played the Bulls. I had to go the year that Michael Jordan decided to play baseball. And the biggest travesty that season, a lot of people don't talk about, was the fact that Scottie Pippen decided to shave his head. Which was bad for 2 reasons. One, you're trying to be like Mike. And for 2, you got a raisin head, bro. Go back and look at Scottie Pippen's wrinkly head.
Hey, you can't rock a shaved head with that nose either. Come on now, Scottie Pippen. What are you doing, man?
So he had
you don't have the proper facial profile for that,
it's
man.
Just it's all messed up.
You look weird. You look like the moon mascot from McDonald's, man. You look like Mac Tonight. Come on now.
No, dude, your wig piece was all destroyed. Your kind of an odd, unique looking dude. You look good now, Scotty. You're aging well. I see you on ESPN. I don't know why they're always interviewing you in your classy living room. It's kind of weird. But
because they don't want to fly him out, man. They're like, yo, is it cool if we just video chat with you, Scotty? We really don't want you here in studio. We don't really like you that much.
Yeah, just don't shave your head again. So that was the last time I went to Oracle Arena. I'd like to get back, but man, tickets. One of the cheapest tickets I could find to the finals was $2,000, and I ain't got that, bro. I'm still waiting for that next Spotify check to roll in. You know what I'm saying? So.
We're almost there.
I'm thinking double digits on this next check. I'm thinking. But we bring that up because we just wanted to touch on. Now I'm chasing across from me. He's not a Warriors fan. He's a Raider, Laker, Dodger fan.
All day.
You're the special breed of sports fan. There's a lot of you guys out there.
The most special.
You know how I feel about those teams, but you know how I feel about you. So it's all love.
It's all love.
We've always been cool about all this, but you appreciate what the Warriors are doing.
No, yeah, man. I mean, listen, it's hard not to appreciate the kind of basketball that they're playing. I mean, it's really something reminiscent of the Showtime Lakers. It really is, except they shooting a lot more threes. That's the time and day that that's the era that we live in.
Let me correct you. They're shooting threes.
Yeah, they're shooting threes, right? The Lakers, I don't know. Go back to Showtime era. So I watched the Showtime era.
I have a stat for you. They shot 9 three-pointers in the first quarter of the game last night.
Exactly.
Through the 85 final series.
the Lakers probably shot 9 3-pointers
total
in the whole series, man.
Maybe the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember. It was either the entire playoffs or the finals. But
if you had the most dominant big man.
Forget about it.
Of all time, come on now,
and the greatest of all time, possibly Magic Johnson. Man. I gotta put Magic up there.
You're not gonna shoot those threes because they were trying to control they're trying to make you play their basketball. They're trying to make you defend, and then they're like, okay, now you try to score. When we got Kareem protecting the basket, right? He was the all-time leading blocker until Hakeem beat him. And that was until what? 96, 97.
Right.
He's still the all-time leading scorer in basketball history, not Michael Jordan.
Right.
He has 6 rings of his own.
Yeah.
This guy was amazing, and he was playing until the age of 41, and he was still dominating. Still dominating.
So not only do you appreciate what the Dubs are doing because it's good, clean, fundamental basketball. Well, clean is questionable, but basketball is a dirty sport anyways. It doesn't look like it on the surface, but let's be honest. But you also share the same passion I have for LeBron James.
Which is hate.
Whereas my boy St. Homer likes to call him Le Queen.
Le Queen.
Not the king, the queen.
Le Queen. Yo, I can roll with that. Now, you know what, man? I'm not going to hate on him that much. Okay? I hate the fact that he's been crowned since the moment he walked into the NBA.
Yeah.
This is a dude that walked into the NBA with the name The King already attached. Self-named, by the way.
Self-named.
He called himself the King. Come on now. Get out of here with that shit. Come on, man.
The thing that I want to talk about, and we'll get out of here really quick because I know it's a Raiders podcast and some of you guys may have already tuned out, but
they're like, what are you talking about?
What I want to talk about is can we let's say we close this out Friday, or hell, let's say we close it out Monday. I don't want to jinx it. I think we close the series out at some point.
I mean, we talked about this earlier, and I told you that I had called Warriors in 6, and I did that right before the finals started. I talked to me and my boy Jess. We always talk about ball right before the finals are gonna start. We gotta call out what we got, right? And so he hits me up. He's like, "Yo." I was just hanging out, and I started thinking, I need to hit up Che. I need to find out what he's thinking about this finals. And I was like, I was just about to call you, man. So he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I got Warriors in 6. And he was like, you know what? I think so, too. I just think with KD, it's too much. They got too much to offer.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here after 3 games, and it's 3-0.
Yeah.
And I told my girl the other day, I was like, I think they're gonna win in 6. But if these dudes get the first 3 games, if LeBron can't game 3, this might be a wrap.
We've never won a game 3 in Cleveland, and we're historically bad in game 3s. We straight up stole that game last night. But the point I wanted to make was that I think we can remove LeBron from the greatest of all time conversation.
Dude,
I'm saying we already had.
Yeah. I never even had him in the conversation.
But I'm talking about the general public.
Yeah.
You've been 7 years in a row.
Y'all are suckers. You guys are. They're just eating it all up, man. Everybody's throwing that crap at them.
This is his 8th finals now total. He's going to be 5-3 at the end of this.
No. 3-5.
Sorry, I mean flip it. 3-5.
Wait.
Yeah. Because 1 in Cleveland, and then he with Miami, and then back to Cleveland. He's been, I think, 7 in a row. So I think this is
5 or 3-4. Is this his 7?
He's currently 3-4.
He's currently 3-4.
So this is his 8th, I do believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right. It's 7 in a row, but he had that one in what, 09 or something?
Yeah.
Some crap like that?
When they went and
got demolished.
In all respect, he brought them there on his own.
All by himself,
Yeah.
but he's in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. So
And we've had many conversations about that. You know how I feel about the Eastern Conference. There ain't no competition out there.
right.
Come on now.
Cleveland's maybe, I think, a 3 seed in the West, behind San Antonio.
Yeah.
I think Popovich is brilliant. He's
Maybe
brilliant.
even lower than that.
Maybe we'll see. But I mean, we won't. But what if LeBron came in Golden State? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't want that to happen. But that would be hilarious. I might have to check out.
He's trying to get one more championship. I wouldn't be. You know what? You say that, and as silly and as ridiculous as it sounds, we already seen what he's done to try to get a championship.
Yeah.
He ain't made of the same cloth as old school players, man.
No.
Those old school players back in the days, they stuck with their team as long as they possibly could. None of them left until they were way past their prime. And that's just, they were like, well, I've played all these years. I haven't been able to accomplish it. So let me see if I could just get one on my way out. And the list goes on and on. You know?
And we could say the same thing about KD, and we won't go into that, but I will say that he was in an environment that was not team-oriented basketball.
Oh.
And I think you can see after this year that he is a team player at heart and really wanted to play in a system that facilitated the ball to everybody. And he's there now, and he's flourishing. He's playing better than he did last year.
Dude, he's the man.
So
he's killing him. He's killing him.
He got out from underneath the Russell Westbrook show, and Russell did Russell this year, but you can see where that kind of basketball gets you. ISO ball is dead. It's dying. Everyone wants to be Kobe Bryant, but you're not Kobe Bryant.
He's not.
And
you know what, though?
You don't have the talent that Kobe had around him either, and the buy-in and the mentorship and the coaching. And I mean, so and I'm not a Kobe fan, but the guy is pretty remarkable. And I don't want to get you started because I know you can talk about Kobe. Oh, yeah. But, Russell just doesn't have any of those intangibles. The dude's not a leader at all.
I think he has that. I'll give him some credit, man. I like Russell Westbrook. I like what he does. I think he has some of the intangibles as far as him not being afraid of nothing, right? He's not afraid to go out there and just have a crap of a performance. He's not afraid to do that. He's not afraid to go out there, take the shot. If he misses, whatever. He's not afraid to attack. He's one of the most athletic players in the league. Can't nobody take that away from him. He's pretty amazing in that regard. But he's got a lot to learn. And I think this is coming from a Lakers fan. Kobe had a lot to learn once the team broke down and he was all on his own too. So maybe he'll get there. Yeah. Maybe he'll understand it. Maybe he'll figure it out. But I think for KD, everybody knew how great KD was before he came to Golden State. Mm-hmm. And now that he's with Golden State, everybody's seen how much greater he could have been had he had the right players around him. And that, again, love what you do, but you didn't get the ball to him in those playoff games. They had the Warriors down last year, 3-1. Yeah. and they blew it. And it's because the right decisions, the right choices weren't made.
Yeah, and
when the game was online.
KD was responsible for a lot of that. He had some ball handling problems.
Yeah, he turned the ball over. But again,
he had nobody to distribute to.
Exactly.
When you feel like I'm going to pass the ball and I'm not going to get it back,
right?
People stop passing the ball.
Yeah, and the offense becomes stagnant. The pressure builds up, and you can't do nothing about it. But I mean, that being said, we're focusing on what's going on now.
Yeah,
and I mean, the Warriors look amazing. Everyone's dissing them, and I can understand where everyone's coming from. You're right. Everyone's on. They're talking about it. They got 4 Hall of Famers. Legitimately, I think they do.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
they do got 4 Hall of Famers. They got one of the best point guards, the best shooter, one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter of all time.
Best shooter of all time,
right? In Steph, they have Klay Thompson, who's easily up there, and you got KD, and then you got Draymond doing his thing, and you know what? Everything that's been said about Draymond, all the dumb stuff that he did last year, dude's playing his ass off.
Yeah.
So you can't hate on them, and they have a team that's, got 4 Hall of Famers, but like Michael Rappaport was saying, our boy Rap was saying, he was like, LeBron, you brought this on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, when you started all this crap about going and joining forces with Wade and Bosch and all that stuff, come on, man. Never before had you seen anything like that. Magic Johnson didn't pack up his bags and go join Larry, and neither did Larry come over to the Lakers. They were like, I'm trying to prove I'm the best player in the world, so I'm going to keep trying to beat you, right? Michael Jordan did the same thing. He didn't go join the Lakers. He didn't leave to go join the Pistons. He stayed with his team, and he made them build a team around them.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what these guys did. And you can make your argument about the Hall of Fame players that were on those teams. Yeah. But it was all about building that team. Yeah. Those guys got there. Some of them were brought over. Some of them were drafted, whatever. But you still had to make that team. Yeah. And the Warriors, they're just adjusting to the times. That's how I see it. If LeBron's trying to make stuff, he's trying to shift stuff and weight it over on his side so that he can get his championships and finally be compared to the GOAT. Because let's be real, he wasn't compared to nobody until he started winning something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he's won some championships. Everybody wants to give him the GOAT title.
Yeah. No.
He ain't the GOAT in my eyes.
No.
And I don't think he'll ever will be.
And KD did not announce his decision on ESPN with fireworks.
Exactly, dude.
So it's
he didn't make it a big spectacle. He didn't go out and have this big. Remember the decision?
Yeah,
remember?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm taking my talents to South. Come on, man.
And then they showed up on that stage with the pyrotechnics, and they were dancing. It was
and then all 3 of them came out. Miami's all happy.
That was a setback for the league.
Hell yeah.
So I mean, that's what it is. That's where we're at right now. So we can go on. You and I can talk basketball all night.
All day.
But yeah, LeBron, you're not the GOAT. Let's stop talking about that. I don't want to argue about it anymore. I'm tired of it.
Make some free throws, man.
If you hate the Warriors, man, hate the Warriors. Hate the Warriors. I get it, but when you're on top, everyone's trying to knock you off. That's
I know all about that.
Yeah.
I know all about that with my team.
So bring the hate. Raider fans that hate on the Warriors, well, you already know what it feels like. So I'm not even tripping. So cool, man. That's it for this week's show. As always, you can tune in every week on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. All right, maybe not every week. It's been a slow off season.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So hang in there with us. But we try to be out here every week for you guys. Shows usually drop on Thursday night, Friday morning. Now we'll probably switch back to Monday night, Tuesday mornings when the season starts. And always join our community at pj4f.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. We got a thriving community over there, thriving message board. Come for the articles, stay for the comments. Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, man. Apologize to all the fans that were expecting the show last week, but like you said, it's been slow times, man. When we got some good stories, I'm sure it's gonna be easy, but it ain't easy. You got your daughter coming out too.
Yeah,
you had to prep for that. So props to you. Y'all got to understand we got family duties. I have some family duties coming up too.
There you go.
So
yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
So, that's it for this week's show. I'm your host, Kenny Stabler, joined every week by my co-host,
Boy Che.
And that's it. We out here. Go Raiders.
Please.
Like a freight train coming, you're blowing the town. Like a diesel motor, you never shut down. With your pistons pumping, you're mowing them down. It's a sight to see, they all lay their money down. When you're gone, mama, hell, you ain't acting right. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, when the sky is gray and the night sets in, it's your cue to do it all again. Until the next time I hear your name, or right beside you now, my thoughts to remain. When you're gone, mama, I'll be missing you. When you're gone, mama, I can still see your eyes. When you're gone, mama, this'll be my last goodbye. When you're gone, gone, when you're